Hello, hello, good morning, and happy Friday. Welcome to 2023 and our first live stream of the year and our first live stream of the new term. So, watching people join, we've got a little error this week. It's been a few weeks since we've done one of these, so unfortunately, we are not live on Facebook, but hello to anybody tuning in on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I'm State Senator Mallory McMorrow, and thrilled to be here for the first live stream of the new term, now representing the 8th Senate District. So a lot of news to share, and we will go ahead and jump into it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. We started out what's been going on in Lansing the few weeks, swearing in, something that is super exciting and feels just as exciting as it did 4 years ago. It's swearing in. So when we start a new term, all of the new legislators that have been duly elected by their constituents get sworn in to start their new term. And this year, unlike 4 years ago, was a little bit different because 4 years ago, our daughter Noah did not exist. She just turned 2. So she got to come to Lansing and our in-district swearing in, which was really, really lovely. You can see her here also swearing in on the Bible and sitting with me in the rotunda looking up at the stars in the Capitol. So now something that's really cute is if we have late session nights, I will FaceTime her and she will ask me to show her stars in the tower, which is very adorable. All right, let's see what else we got on this slideshow to look at. Yeah, we also did an in-district swearing in, which was really, really wonderful. I cannot thank Bishop Ways enough for hosting us. The event was very lovely in Detroit, and we were thrilled to have our swearing in performed by our new Justice, Kyra Harris Bolden, who I've known since 2017. She and I went through the Emerge Michigan program to learn how to run for office for the first time. So it's pretty incredible how far we've both come. And just thank you to everybody who came, who attended, who spoke at this. It was just really, really moving. And we will share more pictures and videos on our social media channels as we have them. What is next? So with the start of a new term, means that really everything changes. This is something that I think a lot of people may not realize is that once a term ends, all of the bills that had been introduced that didn't pass expire and all of our committee assignments change. So what's different this term is for the first time in 40 years, Democrats control both the state House and the state Senate, which means that we also chair committees. The party who is in control is the party who chairs the committees. They lead the agenda, they set the session schedule. So very excited to be chairing the new Senate Economic and Community Development Committee. And we had our first committee hearing just this week. I also will be serving on the Appropriations Committee. This is huge. This is the committee that sets the budget for the state for the year. And we are about to get up and running in the coming week as the governor presents her budget recommendations, which kicks off the appropriations process. More to come on that. Also serving on the Elections and Ethics Committee, the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules, which is a really wonky but important one, Joint Capital Outlay. This is also a budget subcommittee. I am the vice chair of the Senate Oversight Committee and serving on the Appropriations Subcommittee for LEO and MEDC. So it is a busy schedule. Believe it or not, some of my colleagues are serving on 12 committees, but we are really, really excited to get up and running and have so much great work to do. All right, so what has happened so far? We had the State of the State address, and I just saw news this morning that the airing of the Michigan State of the State was more popular than Jeopardy in Metro Detroit. So way to go, Metro Detroit. Everybody tuned in to State of the State. That is awesome. But what is the State of the State address? So the State of the State address is very much like the State of the Union that you may see the president deliver. And this is really to give an opportunity for the executive of the state to lay out her vision for the coming term. This has been a very different speech for the past 4 years. Governor Whitmer's first deliveries were presented to a Republican-controlled legislature. So what you often saw was that the governor laid out her vision and then it gave Republicans a counter. And oftentimes what was presented in the governor's State of the State address was not what you would see come out of the legislature. That's what happens in divided government. But this time I wanted to lay out what she shared in her State of the State address and kind of talk through what that means. So she broke things out into really three major themes. Theme one was lowering my costs, and it included three concepts, which included repealing the retirement tax, which would save seniors an average of $1,000 a year, increasing the earned income tax credit or the working families tax credit, which will return to working families up to $3,000 per year. And something else that was new that is really exciting and could set Michigan up to be leading the country is announcing a plan for pre-K for all, universal pre-K, which would save families about $10,000 a year, because we all know how expensive childcare and early childhood education programs are. And it levels the playing field. It gives every 4-year-old in Michigan a great head start. We know from tons of research, talking to all of our teachers and superintendents, that it is obvious the kids who have had access to pre-K and the kids who haven't. It just sets you up so much stronger for success when you start school. And just to be clear, this is not in law yet. This is her vision. So she's announced this as something that is a priority as the governor for us as the legislature to work towards. Theme two, she called Make It in Michigan. And this bucket included three ideas. Number one was establishing a sustainable funding source for economic development tools while growing talent, improving our communities, and bringing more people to Michigan. Idea two was lowering the age requirement for Michigan Reconnect from 25 to 21. The Michigan Reconnect program is a program that allows people to get tuition-free associate's degrees or skills training. This was passed a few years ago and has been wildly successful in getting more people post-secondary degrees. But there's a gap right now because the eligibility requires that you be at least 25 to apply for the Reconnect program. So this would lower that age from 25 to 21 and really catch that gap of people who are missing out. And then this is something hugely important, especially in the wake of the 2022 election, protecting your freedom so that everyone is welcome in Michigan. Michiganders voted overwhelmingly to pass Prop 3 in 2022 to enshrine abortion rights and reproductive rights into our state constitution. But this also includes amending the Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act to explicitly include LGBTQ Michiganders. And as we see some other states around the country really going backwards in terms of restricting what is allowed to be taught in schools, banning things like the 1619 Project, really attacking trans kids in the LGBTQ community and women's rights. Michigan is making a very different bet that, as the governor said, bigotry is bad for business. And this is a way for us to signal that it's not only good for our state, but good for our economy as well, to be a welcoming, inclusive state, and something that I am really excited about. All right, the last bucket that she shared in the State of the State address was education, opportunity, and public safety. And the basic idea is that if you don't feel safe in your community, then you're not going to have access to education and all of the opportunities therein. So this included continuing record investments in education. Michigan now has the highest ever per pupil rate of education funding, but to continue that and also add on one-on-one learning supports like tutoring, especially knowing that people are catching up from the pandemic. There's COVID learning loss that definitely has to be addressed. We all went through a global pandemic, and we want to make sure there are one-on-one learning supports for kids and students to be able to catch up as we get back to this new normal. Supporting public safety professionals. I think that what is key here, especially in the wake of the past few weeks and the killing of Tyree Nichols, that this doesn't just mean money for public safety and police officers, but legislation that we have tried to pass time and time again in the legislature is legislation to increase mental health training and support for public safety officers, increase oversight as well to ensure that those who are serving in these jobs are the best that we have, that there are clear guardrails and we aren't creating a scenario where people can abuse that power. But when I talk to lifelong public safety officers, police officers, people who have done good work in their communities. What is true now is that there's a crunch like everywhere. It's a labor market that is challenging. This is a challenging line of work, especially as we see daily gun violence, mental health crises that many officers feel like they are not prepared for. So this is really about how do we create the best system that ensures public safety for everyone, and that genuinely means for everyone. Then finally, on the public safety front, enacting common sense gun violence prevention reforms. I'm looking at you, Moms Demand Action. We have been working together for the past 4 or 5 years since before I was in office, when I was running for office. We have introduced dozens of bills year after year after year that are reforms that 80 to 90% of Americans, every time polls come out, agree on. These are things like safe storage laws, red flag laws that would create a mechanism to temporarily confiscate firearms from somebody who is an immediate risk to themselves or others, universal background checks, and more. So we are looking forward to the opportunity, now that Democrats are chairing committees, to be able to finally hear testimony on these bills and move this legislation forward. All right, so that goes into everything from the speech. We are now going to dive into my favorite part of our live streams, positive things from the district, which I love. And all of these, I think, this week are largely food related, which I also very much love. Okay, Supreme Cafe opened just shy of 2 weekends ago in our district, owned by Jamal Muhammad. They had a great grand opening on Saturday, the 21st. Our district director, Chris, attended with Councilwoman Angela Whitfield Callaway and Detroit City Council President Mary Sheffield. Congratulations, and I hope to be stopping in very soon. Eater Detroit also published 13 great places in Metro Detroit for takeout and delivery, one of my favorite things, especially with a small human. And 3 of the restaurants mentioned are in our very own Senate district, including Noble Fish in Clawson. If you have never been to Noble Fish, you are missing out on just one of the best experiences food-wise you will ever have, not only in sushi, but in picking up sake, some really fun Japanese snacks and treats. I love it there. Louisiana Creole Gumbo for some true comfort food that has been around for decades at Eastern Market and is also in our district on 7 Mile Road in Detroit. And Chef Greg's Soul in the Wall on Curtis Street, where you can get the legendary Boogaloo Wonderland sandwich. Sign me up. I'm ready. We'll post a link to the Eater Detroit article in our email newsletter. This is a good plug to sign up for it, and on our Facebook page, which unfortunately we're unable to stream to this week, but you'll be able to see it when we get back there, so that you can find all of the information on the restaurants listed. Next Tuesday, this is not a picture for this, but this is a sneak peek of what's ahead. But next Tuesday and Wednesday, February 7th and 8th, Royal Oak residents will get free admission to the rink at Centennial Commons. Yes, there is an ice rink in our new downtown park, and it is beautiful and wonderful. If you haven't been, usually admission is $10, but you can get in for free. Bring your own ice skates or rent them for $5. This also includes a dine and skate voucher for 10% off at participating Royal Oak restaurants that same day. So February 7th and 8th, head on out for some skating and some food. Enjoy yourself. And then last but very much not least, on the food scene announcement news this week, the James Beard Awards, recognizing the best of the best in the culinary world, and more than a dozen Metro Detroit chefs and restaurants were named as semifinalists for the James Beard Awards, which were announced Wednesday. And a number of those are in our district. These are considered the most prestigious awards in the culinary world, and are really similar to the Oscars of the food scene, which is more my jam, if I'm being honest. I can participate more actively in the eating of the food. In nationwide categories, Sandy Levine, owner of the Oakland Steakhouse in Ferndale, made the Outstanding Restaurateur list. Congratulations. Amado Lopez, owner of Casa Amado Taqueria in Berkeley, delicious, by the way, won Emerging Chef semifinalists. And Hajime Sato from Sozai in Clawson. Sozai was the Free Press's Restaurant of the Year last year, is included in the Outstanding Chefs list. And Sozai is amazing. It is a very nondescript sushi place in a strip mall in Clawson, but they serve sustainable fish, and the chef has become world renowned, honestly, for leading this push towards sustainable fish, sustainable sushi. And it's just a really wonderful, highly curated experience if you ever want to go. Okay, with that, I'm going to turn off my slideshow if I can find my mouse. Okay, so because we do not have Facebook this week, my guess is we won't have that many comments. So I am going to use this opportunity just to provide an introduction for people who may be watching this live or who are going to watch the recording to our new Chief of Staff, Emily Collins. Emily, welcome.
Hello.
Emily is joining us this term. We're really excited to have her on. So you will see her face and new faces on our team throughout the year. I'm popping in on the comments. I don't see any. I see hi from New Jersey from LinkedIn. Very exciting. Hello, New Jersey. But just wanted to say hi. Emily, what are you excited about looking into this term?
Oh man, I think the most exciting thing is being in a Democratic majority in all three of the areas that we need, so we can get things done, and it's really exciting. So this week we saw hearings on Elliott Larson expansion, among many things, passing the EITC, which we'll get to, and retirement tax relief. So that's what I'm really excited about. Is that not only can we talk about these great ideas, but we can actually do something with them and make the lives of Michiganders better. That's really exciting to me.
It is exciting. It feels very different. We passed in record time bills that were sent to the governor's desk to sign. So we passed legislation to expand the EITC, the retirement tax, and also a supplemental budget that included funding for housing for missing middle, for mental health support, so much good stuff. And it made it to a bill signing in record time. So this is a huge challenge and opportunity for us. And I'm just looking forward to taking that opportunity on. And we're thrilled to have you on the team. So welcome, Emily. I wanted to introduce you to people of the live stream. I'll let you go and I'll close out for the week. All right, so pretty easy week. We will work on fixing our Facebook connection for next time. And with that, we'll go ahead and see you next time. Make sure to tell your friends if you find these useful. We have all of these videos saved for you to look back on what we've done in the legislature, on our YouTube page, on Facebook. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.